Hello, how are you guys? So, hey, I wanted to do a quick little video on, is the Arizona housing market crashing right now? And so I get a lot of questions, kind of just wondering what's going on, just because we have seen such a big increase in inventory and we're not seeing as many houses sell as quickly. And so a big question that I get asked is what's gonna happen? What is just going on? And so I just wanted to bring a couple key points to this, and it is actually regarding the Arizona real estate market, which contracts are up right now, cancellations are down, new listings are not hitting the market as quickly as they were. And so I wanted to touch on these three things, and I got a couple of other points that I really want to be able to touch on as well. But with contracts being up right now, that means houses are still going under contract. You're not having to worry about if I put my house on the market, is it just not going to sell? Are we going to see a crash? And in my opinion, no, I don't think we're going to see a crash. Yes, we are in a recession, but I think that more reflects about the stock market, all of that stuff, and just the fact that we had 2 negative quarters of GDP. So when it goes back to the housing market, the fact that contracts are up, that's actually a really good thing because houses are still selling. We're not seeing any decrease in where, home prices are coming down a little bit, but my honest opinion with that is more of the fact that the Arizona market was just so inflated with the low interest rates. There was just a ton of buyers that were going out there putting a whole bunch of offers on a property, and there just wasn't any inventory. There weren't other options that buyers could go to. Now that we have seen such a big influx of inventory, that decreases our buyer demand now because now they have more options. And also with interest rates coming up, we saw that a lot of people were just holding off. They were like, "Oh, we've seen this before. We don't want to have to pay those extra monthly payments or those higher monthly payments that we were seeing compared to what we were seeing when the interest rates were down at 2 to 3%." And so the biggest thing to really look for with this is a lot of buyers, since demand is slowing down, a lot of buyers are sitting on the sidelines waiting to see if prices are just going to crash down, which in my opinion, this is the perfect opportunity. If you are a buyer and you were trying to get into the market these past 2 years, it is a perfect opportunity to be able to capitalize on this opportunity right here that we have right in front of us. Just for the sheer fact that since demand is low, that means that you're not going to have a whole bunch of competition like we saw previously. You're not going to have multiple offers on a property unless it is a very nice property, it's in a super desired neighborhood, all of that stuff. That is a completely different scenario. But as of right now, for the general, idea of everything of the housing market, it's a perfect opportunity to get back in. Interest rates are still at a historically low right now. We're looking at like 5% still, which they've kind of climbed up. I've been staying in contact with my lender. He's been saying that they've been creeping up just a little bit, but the fact that they are still very low, it's still a great time to get in. You're not going to have to fight and pay so much over asking price, and actually with how the current market conditions are, you're actually able to get a house under contract quicker and for less money, or you can get a seller concession to either help you buy down that rate, or you can have them either make repairs on the property or just come down on the purchase price. And so another thing that I kind of wanted to touch on was with sellers, you can only sell to people who are able to afford that property. With interest rates that came up, those people aren't willing to pay that anymore because the monthly payments are now higher. And that goes back to rent as well. People who were getting super high rents and everything, people aren't really willing to pay that anymore just because affordability. We just can't afford to be able to make those $2,000 payments on a 2-bed apartment. That's the thing that I really try to take into consideration. And so when you have that idea of, maybe I should just wait, maybe I should just rent for a year and then possibly go and buy later, I think the biggest thing is, what is that rent doing for you? What is paying that that $2,000 a month when you could be paying that $2,000 a month towards your mortgage rather than just paying it towards rent. Because when it comes to paying it towards your mortgage, you're actually paying it towards yourself. You are getting a return on that. The real estate market has always bounced back, and what we saw these past 2 years, that was about just as crazy as the interest rates being as low as they were. We're not going to see a big dip in the market, in my opinion, just from the data that I've seen, just for the sheer fact that everybody needs a place to live and rent is super high. Why not take advantage of the opportunity while you're basically going to be paying the same amount of renting a 2 to 3 bed apartment and just rolling that over into getting a down payment? And that's the other thing. There are down payment assistance programs, first time home buyer programs, all of that stuff. You guys can get into a property at a very low cost right now. And I think being able to just know that and getting your data from the correct people, I think a big thing is a lot of people are getting information from the news and all of that stuff, which they try to build up that drama. They try to build up that anticipation of making you kind of in this scarcity mindset, which you need to shift your mindset. This is the perfect opportunity to be able to get into a property at a super low price, and then you can go and refinance in a year or 2 years from now. Because I do think that interest rates will come back down. They're probably going to come back down, in my opinion, just from what I've heard from lenders and everything, is about 4 to 5%. I think that's a really reasonable interest rate. And so if you can get in now at a 5% interest rate, make those payments that are a little bit higher than what you were expecting, and then refinance back down even lower, then your monthly payments go down even lower, that's the best part about it. And so when it comes to sellers about having to sell, they're wondering, well, the housing market's crashing. I'm not getting my house sold at the number that I thought I wanted or that I was told and all of this. It's not that the house isn't worth that anymore. It's not, well, necessarily it's not, because your house is what is worth what people are willing to pay for it. And so when it comes to that, you have to look at, you aren't just buying, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. When you are selling a property, you aren't just selling it to be able to, like, people are seeing that they're not getting the big returns that they thought that they were. They're not seeing the purchase prices that they thought they were going to be seeing when they originally listed their property. And so the biggest thing is that, since we have seen price reductions and everything, the market is coming back down to a balanced market. And so the biggest thing that you have to take into consideration when you are going to sell is, I'm not necessarily losing money. I have not lost any money. I'm just not getting the big return that I thought I was going to get. And so making that little mindset shift right there is going to really help you, and it's actually going to help out the whole market in general, because people are super fixated on having these huge, like, I'm going to get multiple offers on my property. I'm going to get it over $100,000 over list price and everything. That's gone. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that is gone. The fact that you are able to still sell your property and it's still going to get a really good return on your investment, just for the sheer fact that we saw as much appreciation as we did, it's still a great time to sell. It's still a great time to buy. And so if you have any questions about possibly getting into the market, or you just kind of want to see some data that I'm seeing, hey, go ahead, book a call with me. I'll leave my link tree down below and you can schedule a call with me. And I would love to be able to go over the numbers with you, why it's such a good time to buy, why it's such a good time to sell. And then we can just kind of wrap on all of that stuff. So then you can get some actual real data that is showing you the real numbers of everything. What you're actually going to be able to sell your home for. What you're actually going to be able to buy a home for. What are the programs that are actually able to help you buy your home? And then what are the programs to be able to help you sell your home quicker? And so actually, So my case study, this is actually a great resource to be able to look at, just for the sheer fact that this is great for sellers. I think with, especially right now, since the market has slowed down, it is a perfect opportunity. If you have been looking to buy or to get into a bigger home, or maybe you want to move to a different state, maybe you want to move to a different neighborhood, different part of town, this is the perfect opportunity. This is how I helped the Johnsons buy their dream house without having to sell their current home first. And so this actually was able to put them in a position of where they could get qualified as a non-contingent buyer, go out, buy their next home without having to sell their current home first, and then they can get completely moved in. Completely eliminates all of the stress of moving, dealing with showings, making sure that your house is constantly that show ready vibe and everything. So the biggest thing right now is being able to leverage programs like those. That is a great time right now, just for the sheer fact that you can go out there and you can go look for as long as you need and everything. And obviously take into consideration the interest rates. I don't know personally how long they're going to stay this low. We might see an increase, we might see a decrease. I don't know. If I had a crystal ball, I would be the first one to tell you guys, and I would probably I would be a multimillionaire if I had a crystal ball. So just to kind of give you guys some data and everything and some programs, I still think it is a great time to sell. I still think it's a great time to buy. And like I said, if you guys have any more questions, please, by all means, I'll drop a comment down below or in the description of my link tree. You can schedule a call with me. We can go over the numbers. Make sure that you guys just are getting the correct data. But I just wanted to make this quick little video for you. Like I said, if you have any questions, please, by all means, I'm an open book. My phone number, if you want to reach out to me, is 308-352-8091. You can look me up on social media, Dominic Wendell, AZ Realtor, DOMONICWENDELL, AZ Realtor. So other than that, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.